everything to be an underground king. Underground king. I sacrifice everything to be an underground king.
What it do, kings and queens? It's your boy, the UP King, the People's Champ, and I'm back with another video. And listen, today we are talking about Spectrum Universal Air Spray Gun Light Attachment. Yes, sir. So listen, if you're having problems with, seeing in your garage, maybe, maybe you're up under a carport or something like that, and it's a little bit dark, you ain't got the best light, this right here might help you out. Now, this has actually been out for a little while, and nobody's talking about it. I looked all over YouTube, and I couldn't find nobody that was talking about it. And it's probably due to, the trend of the electric spray gun, so the YouTube painters, they don't even want to talk about the stuff that goes, with your actual spray gun for, all the guys and gals that might be still using a regular spray gun and a compressor. It's a big thing about not having to use a compressor and a spray gun and a hose, and everybody's trying to get away from, having to deal with all of that stuff. Hey, I get it. But for those that are still trying to use that same type of setup, hey, this might help you too. So let's get this thing opened up and see what it'll actually do. Now, when I first purchased this thing, I got it for, I want to say, $40. And it's crazy because I heard about this through my homeboy Grant 7. He the one put me up on it. Shout out to him. All right, they got that packaged up pretty good. All right, so slides out like that. And this is the packaging that you'll see and everything that comes with it. That's the bottom of it, but that is the top portion. And you also get some instructions. So, what you get in the packaging is the actual light. So, here's your light. The packaging says 300 lumens. And let's see if it'll power up. Nope, no power out of the package, so it needs to be charged. And there's a remove sticker, so maybe it won't work until I remove that. All right, got that removed. And let's see here. Got that tightened back up. Ah, there we go. Now we got some action. That looked pretty good. That looked real good. All right, so on the back of it, of course, you got a power button, and I'm assuming that's where you can plug into it to charge it. And let's see if we can get that so you can see it. It's fighting with me, but I got it. All right, there goes the plug there, so you can charge the actual light. But yeah, that looks good. So we got the light. Now, this has a B bracket, so I believe it says on the back of the box, the B bracket itself, which, again, you can see the B on the back. That is for larger adapters, or it is the large adapter. That's the B. And that's the A. And this is supposed to be the smaller adapter of the two. Let's see. Let me step back. All right, so there looks to be a slight difference in the makes. B looks slightly bigger, but it almost looks the same, but it is slightly bigger. So we'll see how that goes when it comes to whatever spray gun that we're using at the time, because this is supposed to be universal. And when it says universal, it says it is compatible with the Black Widow, the Spectrum, the Central Pneumatic, the McGraw, the Vilvis, and other spray guns. Now, with it being a Spectrum and it being from Harbor Freight, of course, it should work with any of their spray guns that they sell. Makes sense. But they're saying that it's universal to other companies as well, and we'll see how that goes. Also in the package is the wiring. I believe it is a USB-C charging cable. So it's got the USB in with the C plug on the end of it, so you can use that to plug into any type of power source that'll take USB, and then you can charge the light up. And I guess we'll have to see how we can get this thing to mount to a spray gun. All right, so I have my Black Widow here, the HTE 1.3, and of course I use this thing. I need to clean it a little bit better. What you think? Yeah, I definitely need to clean it a little bit better, but I still use my spray guns. I don't know about a lot of the other paint channels that have these spray guns. They use them once or twice, get some views out of it, then you never see it again. But I actually use mine on a regular basis. I love spraying with one of it, or spraying with this actual spray gun. I love spraying with it. But yeah, let's see how this is actually supposed to mount onto the spray gun. So to install everything on your spray gun, you have to determine, if you got a small or a large, attachment that you need. But for the Black Widow, we're gonna go with the B attachment. You take the actual light, you take the B attachment or the A attachment, whichever one you're using, you apply it to the light. So you're gonna put that like so at the top. It might work even at the bottom. You might be able to flip it the other way, but I'm gonna put it like that for now. So you have this here. Add your spray gun. Should sit like that, like so. That's how it's gonna look. Then at the top, we're gonna twist that down to lock it in. That way it won't come off the spray gun. Should be locked in, ready to go. Now that we got that on, turn the light on. And that's what it looks like with the light on. Nice little Spectrum. Looks real good with the Black Widow, of course. I like it. Now, even though it looks good with the Spectrum, you still got to figure out if it's actually going to work for you. Now, I do want to say that I have seen something like this. It actually looks kind of like a design of the Welcome. They have one of these lights, so it's kind of like what that design looks like. Of course, I don't believe it has, this portion of the light for that actual light attachment, but you know, it's still a nice addition to the spray gun. Now, it adds some definite weight to the spray gun. So you got to take that into account too, because once you add some paint to this spray gun as well as the light attachment, you're going to have a heavy spray gun. So if you ain't been in the gym for a minute and you trying to use this light, take that into account, because that especially if you're doing an overall and you're trying to spray, that's going to give you a tired arm. You're gonna be switching arms, quite a bit if you're looking like you're gonna be doing a long job. Something small, something quick, it shouldn't bother you as much, if you ain't got a whole lot of paint material that you're gonna be going through. But for this, and a big job, that's gonna put a little wear and tear on the body that day. But we're gonna see if this thing is gonna work out for us. So let's go out to the shop and let's see if we got something that we can use this on. Let's check it out. Jumping into the paint, spraying base at 22 psi. And the color of this is called Pull Me Over Red, which is a General Motors color or a GM color. I don't have the paint code, but that's the name of the color if anybody is interested. It's a real nice red, pops, kind of gives me a little orange, reddish type of color. But I've seen this color and it really pops to me. Alright, spraying this bumper, and you can see I'm trying to spray in those, inside that bumper. And that's where the bulkiness of the light can be an issue when you're trying to get in those tight little spots. When you're spraying a bumper, it could get in your way where that would be easier for you if you didn't have the light. So, you could bag up, adjust your, pattern, miss some color in there, but it's a whole lot easier if you don't have the light attached to it. So, keep that in mind. I definitely thought that might be an issue. You don't want that light attachment touching your fresh paint. You definitely don't want it touching your clear. So keep that in mind. But all in all, I think it's doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. It kind of follows and travels, as you go. That way you can see if you're getting, enough coverage in certain areas. You can tell. Again, here, I could have had a better setup, because that attachment is making it a little bit harder for me to get in them small little spots. Had I had this on a stand, it'd be a lot better and it wouldn't even be an issue. So not necessarily on the light attachment, but we'll chalk that up as painter error. But again, that could be an issue if you don't have a stand. So keep in mind, if you do have this attachment, how you set up the parts that you're spraying. And here you can see it's, following and showing if you are doing your overlap great or if you're not. And the Black Widow is just, laying it down, in my opinion. Some people like it, some people don't. Now here on this hood, I got some black spots which you can see clearly that it's not covering well. What I probably needed to do was seal this hood, but didn't have any sealer. That would have made this a whole lot easier. So if you don't have sealer, then it's going to take a lot more coats to get those spots covered. Or another way you could have done it is if you had, let's say, uh, a light grayish color or a white base color, and you could have sprayed some of that base on those spots, let that dry out, and then turn around and come back with the red base, which would have helped to get better coverage. Now just going with the second coat, again you can see clearly what you're doing with the light. Not really a issue when it comes to, painting fenders and the hood. It's just kind of like doing a normal spray job, not really getting in the way. So I think all in all, it's more an issue for, kind of spraying bumpers when you need to get in those little tight spots. But you keep good distance. I don't see it really being an issue, and it definitely shows you if you got, you know, light spots, if you got good coverage, if you spray something dry, it's definitely going to help you with that. And if you got like those, UV lights, stuff like that, that if you like to use those type of tools, this will help with that. Second coat on the bumper going on pretty good. No issues. And again, you can see what you're doing clear as day with the light. So I'm definitely going to say that, this might be something that you want to look into at the price of 40 bucks. I don't really think you can go wrong with that. Here's that first coat of clear. And you can see each pass being sprayed on. The light is definitely helping in that department. So if you have an issue with, keeping a wet edge, maybe somehow losing the wet edge, especially if you're in a garage, maybe, you're using a lot of pressure or pressure is real high and you're getting a lot of overspray, kind of cloudy in your garage, then the light may help you keep that wet edge, or at least find the wet edge if you get off track somehow. So you can clearly see with the light that which areas are getting the clear and which areas are not. And again, that'll definitely show. You can go over the panel that you're spraying to see if you got dry spots. If you need to go back and put some more clear down, you'll be able to see all that with this light. So it's definitely worth looking into. I won't say that it's something that you just gotta have, but definitely worth looking into if you have those type of issues. As you can see, I'm putting out quite a bit of overspray. It's getting kind of cloudy, but you can see there, I'm looking, trying to make sure I found where, I laid some clear down. I was able to find it, no problem. You see there, I'm looking. So that's where that's going to help you out at. You'll see where, you got some clear on. Maybe you thought you might have had a bad spot. You need to go back over it, but the light will help you. So again, not a necessary purchase, but I don't think it'll be a bad purchase if you get this. And again, at $40, you know, you might not be breaking the bank with that versus the prices of some of these other gun light attachments that's out there. I think this is a good example right here coming up. Switching to the other side, that light definitely shows where the wet edge is, and I can pick it right back up, you know, and get right back into my motion and lay that clear down real nice. And I like the design of the light because it's right there with you every step of the way. It's not too high, it's not shining on a different area. It's right there where the clear and the base is being laid at. So I like that design. I think it works well. And here's the final results of the clear and the base on these parts. Drop me a comment, tell me what you think. I don't think I gave the settings on my spray gun, but I was at full fluid and then I turned it in about half a turn. Then I was at full fan and turned it in quarter of a turn. Those were my settings on the Black Widow, and this is the finish that I got with those settings. But drop me something in the comments. Tell me what you think. Is it a yay or nay on the light? What's your thoughts? And just let me know if I did a good job. Appreciate it. All right, kings and queens. So tell me what you think about Spectrum's universal light spray gun attachment. Now, I ain't really how you say it. Universal air spray gun light attachment is the best way to say it, I guess. But that's a lot of words to be trying to put together. So, Spectrum's new universal light for spray guns. Still too many words. But tell me what you think about it. Is it a yay or is it a nay? Now, I'm kind of like 50-50, you know? After spraying with it, it's good in some instances, not in others. It's kind of bulky. If you got to get in a tight spot, it might get in your way, keep you from getting in those tight spots. But if you got straight flat surfaces, trying to catch a wet edge, trying to see where you at, you start at one side, you get on the other side, you're able to see that wet edge and catch that wet edge. If you're having issues with that, maybe you're in a garage or something like that, a dark space, and you can't really see, and you don't want to have a dry spot, say your base clear, single stage, whatever you're doing, and the light may help, to catch that wet edge and continue to see where you're going and where you left off at. So it's got its pros and its cons. So is it really necessary? In my case, I feel like it's not necessary. It's not really something that I just have to have. Do you need to have it? I don't think you do. But if you do, then I think it will be a good purchase for you. Something that you will have to see for yourself and say, hey, this is going to work for me. Now, again, it may work for you. It may not. In my case, I don't really have that issue. Seeing my wet edge, catching a wet edge, anything like that. I don't have a light issue. I'm not working in the darkest of spaces. not really painting in, you know, like a home garage. I do have a home garage that I do paint in, but I haven't painted in it lately since I got the shop. So it's kind of like it's not really something that I personally need. But for you, this might be ideal to work for you. And for the price of 40 bucks, I don't know if you can really beat that. I mean, I know you can, you know, rig up a couple other lights and do some other things, you know, light some candles and stuff like that if you really need them. But, you know, 40 bucks, you'll have you a good light. You can charge it, use it for anything and everything. You know, maybe you're not even painting and you want to use it for something else. That would be a good light to use. So, you know, 300 lumens. I believe that's what it says. Yep, 300 lumens. You know, the front is easy to clean. I did clean mine with a little lacquer thinner. Kind of smeared it up on the face of it, but still worked fine. So, you know, be aware of that. But hey, I think it'll work pretty well. Again, it'll be, you know, certain situations that I think it will work for. And hey, that's my real true thoughts on it. So listen, this video has been long enough. I've kept you long enough. Some of y'all might not even still be here, but that's okay. I appreciate everybody checking out these videos. So listen, it's your boy, the UP King, the People's Champ, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Everything to be an underground king. I sacrifice everything to be